going on, world? It's the KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals Podcast. Your boy Kuya P, and I got my man Webster Style. Shout out to our man Sean Mongold. He's probably out there hitting them streets because it's the holiday season. So unfortunately, he couldn't join us tonight. But you got the dynamic duo in your boy Webster Style and your boy Kuya P. We're gonna talk a little bit of wrestling real quick. Another week. We've had some Dynamite. We've had some Rampage. We've had Deadline. With our NXT cats over the weekend, and of course we had some Raw as of this recording. Webster Style and I was just chatting it up. I still got a lot of wrestling to catch up on, so I'm only going to a few subjects, as does Webster Style. You know, again, it's a holiday season, a lot going on. I think we mutually, feel that, just because we've been so busy, we feel bad to y'all that hear us, listen to us, watch wrestling, that we just don't have enough information. But there's still some stuff to chat about, so we're just gonna give you some content. But we still got some catching up on to do. So when we can, we will, and we'll talk about it. So for me, Webster Style, man, Deadline, wasn't able to watch it as I had wanted to. I'll probably find some time this week, hopefully, to check it out. But one of the things that I saw that caught my eye was Cora Jade is back.
Yep.
She showed up after the Lyra Valkyrie match, and who was Lyra going against? God, I forgot who she was going against. But she's our current champ.
Right.
And then she was going against somebody. I think it was the winner of weren't they having like a tournament going on in NXT?
Yeah, they did.
Her new rival, or who to
yeah,
for the
I
next.
Forget.
But
look, it's not even so much I forget because like they're nobody. I forget because there's so many great women in NXT.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm about to say
it's not even that.
They have a festival of riches of amazing women wrestlers right now, which is one of the big proponents of why I love NXT right now. Right. They have some of the best up and comers over there. But Cora Jade, who I've peeped here and there, she's been kind of out of pocket because there's been a bunch of other wrestlers out there right now. So they've kind of commanded the spotlight. And I believe she was also injured, if I'm not mistaken, right?
There never was a clear explanation for that, to my understanding.
Or they didn't know what kind of storyline they wanted to put her in.
Or maybe they wanted to take her. Well. I will say this. Outside of injury, NXT has been very good about cycling people in and out, in my opinion. In general, men and women, they've been doing a very good job of that, in my opinion, to tell the stories they need to tell, but not just having people on every week just because.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think that's good. It keeps it fresh, gives them breaks. But I gotta say, so I've been peeping Deadline. I didn't peep Deadline, but I peeped the dirt sheets. Been seeing the Twitters and all that. But everybody talking about Cora Jade back, and I'm like, okay, yeah, she pretty bad. I need to see her more of a wrestling, but her visual appeal, Webster Style. A lot of people are chatting about her. I'm like, okay, I see what you're talking about. Right. Shout out to Braun Breaker, because apparently that's Braun Breaker's girl.
Oh, okay.
Respect. Respect. They're talking about some new assets apparently she has. Again, I haven't seen her in a while.
I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, they chat about it. And I'm like, okay, I just
maybe that's why she was out, if that's the case.
And all I know is they better not let her wrestle against if she ever to go to the main card, wrestle against my man Fene. My gosh. What's her name? Big girl. Why am
Nia Jax?
Who?
Nia Jax?
Nia Jax, yes. Because I don't know if you heard, and one of the things that they're worried about on the main card is a lot of our amazing female wrestlers also have implants, and no disrespect to that, much power, whatever you feel about your body, love and respect, and no matter what size you are, I love you however you are, whether it's God-given or man-made, but they're fearful with that move she does.
Gravity is gravity.
Sit down on the wrong person, it could really be life-threatening to the wrong female that she was to do that move on. So, so it's like I feel now, because just being awareness of the sport and women's wrestling and the people that have certain body modifications, it's just scary, But that's been some of the talk on the dirt sheets. I don't know if you saw that, bro.
No, I didn't. Not at all.
So then I got some thirsty people, I guess, on my It's probably because of all the Exotica coverage we've been doing, Webster Style.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But I'm seeing all the thirst tweets and all that. But anyway, respect to Cora Jade. I need to learn more about her. Check her out.
Yeah.
But respect to Braun Breaker, man. But what do you think about Lyra though? Again, I think she retained. Cora surprised her. So I guess whoever is the new contender, number one contender, obviously now also has to deal with Cora trying to come after Lyra.
B. Priestley won the Iron Survivor match. Is her name B. Priestley?
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. I just keep like in the back of my mind, I remember her old name and I always mistakenly call her that. So I'm thinking, I know I'm calling her new name and I'm thinking I'm calling her old name. Because she was in NXT UK and she was a pretty prominent.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Wrestler.
Blair Davenport.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what she was. Yeah.
So what do you think between Cora now in the picture, Blair, Lyra?
Yeah,
I think they're invested into Lyra, so they're probably just trying to find good opponents for her.
Yeah, I agree, and they have plenty of those. It's interesting because it's not that I don't like Lyra. I'm not feeling Lyra. Champion.
Okay.
I think that no disrespect to her. It just, I don't know. Tiffany was really good as champion.
I know, and I missed Tiffany time.
It's hard in her gimmick, in my opinion, going after Tiffany and what her gimmick is and how I think, because correct me if I'm wrong, they had the belt, they had the whole issue with Mandy. Mandy dropped it to Roxana Perez. I want to say Roxy. I don't remember. Did Roxy lose it to Tiffany?
I don't think so. I think it was a turn. You know what? You don't get me lying. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think there was somebody in between that, or there was Indy, and then they had the tournament because Indy got hurt and then she got called up to the main roster. If I remember,
yeah, that's right. That's right. They did do a tournament because they called her up.
Right. So I think
dogging her, to be honest. I don't think she's getting. They're like really not doing much with her. They have her with Candice LeRae, and they just lost Casey and I want to say Casey and the Sunshine Band, but it ain't Casey and the Sunshine Band. Casey and what's her name, Katana.
Right. Yeah. That aspect. I'm fine because every dog has their day. Not everybody is going to be main event, and not everybody's look. They working and they doing what they love. So I'm not even. I mean, hell, I'm not upset about that. And DIY, going to that, like they've been on a losing streak. They got to win. So, but going back to NXT, it's something about that transition from Tiffany and then Becky to Lyra. There's something about Lyra's character that doesn't make me really want to see her as champion. Again, no disrespect to her technical ability. She's a hell of a wrestler. I'm not just feeling her that way, honestly. Yeah. That may change. I don't know, especially with Blair Davenport. Again, I keep calling her B. Priestley. I mean, she's a good person, a good opponent to have against her. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you who I don't want them to put on the belt on.
Who's that?
As much as I love her, Nikita Lyons.
I don't know enough about her to have an opinion on her.
I don't think, and this is only because, and again, she just came back, but even before, I don't think I think her character needs to evolve more. Honestly, because they were, from what I understand, before she got injured, she was the one that was supposed to win the breakout tournament last year. But that's what I read in the dirt sheets. And then as she's back, I'm going to be interested to see what they do, because I watched her when she did WoW, and I thought that, she's not as good as a Roxy, just natural ability. But when you watch WoW last season, you can see there was one person that had natural, like the people who like, because with Tessa Blanchard was on there and a couple other people who like been doing it for years. Well, the newer cats that were green, you can see she had potential. And I saw that then. So when she got picked up, I was happy about that. But I really am interested in seeing what they do with her. And I hope they don't automatically put her into some sort of championship picture in the next couple months, because she really needs time to evolve her character and get her character work in my opinion. Okay. That's kind of random, but considering she just came back she had a little spot at Deadline. I think she's going after Blair Davenport, if I remember correctly. She's the one that took her out. So she's kind of involved in that, with Blair winning the Iron Survivor. So we'll see how that storyline plays out. Also, NXT wise, they had selected there's a person from NXT, a man that was going to be in the United States Championship tournament, Logan Paul. Well, after Deadline, Shawn Michaels announced it was Carmelo Hayes. Well, somebody took Carmelo Hayes out on Tuesday's NXT. So that whole storyline with him and Trick and who's ever attacking them, whether it's all Trick or something's going on there. So they're prolonging that storyline. But I'm wondering if this takes Carmelo out of the US Championship tournament, who do they put in? Because before with Carmelo, I don't know why I thought Braun Breaker, because I thought that would be a perfect spot to put him in to get him more exposure, because honestly I think he's languishing in NXT at this moment. I don't think he needs to be there anymore. So that's just me. I'm trying to think anything else in NXT. I can't think of anything too much in NXT.
The belt now being on Dragon Lee?
Yeah, well, we knew that was going to happen.
We kind of talked, and then maybe a 3-way, which would have been cool, and Trick, but now Trick, right. So he's going to be a viable contender, wherever he chooses to go. Right. Was it the contender for what, or was it to go against the next? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I don't remember if they do get a number 1 contender shot, or not. But I was surprised Trick won that. Not upset, but I was surprised that Trick won the Iron Survivor. They are pushing him hard and fast,
which is good. I like it.
Yeah. I'm not upset about that at all. I think the problem with NXT now is that they're developing a lot of people, and a lot of people are good. And there's literally not enough main roster spots for these people.
Very true.
So NXT is getting kind of full. There's a ceiling, and there's nowhere really to put them. I mean, we have the Creed brothers, but again, like we talked about last week, it looks like they're about to put them in the main event with Judgment Day.
Yeah. And
by all accounts, really, that's too soon to be putting the tag belts on them, in my opinion. But I'm not Triple H. I ain't making all this money, making and whatnot. So, but yeah, let's speaking of main roster, we're getting the tease between Seth Rollins and CM Punk.
Okay. So we heading out of there. Well, I really want to say, going real quick back to Nikita. I'm happy to hear that she's got some skills, I guess. Again, I don't, like I said earlier, I don't know too much about her. I see from the thirst tweets. And
I was about to say, you know what people talk about.
Doesn't she do like the butt drop, and she does like a split thing? So I'm happy to hear she at least has some talent. And that she got to develop. So it's good to know about her, because I felt she was just one of the pretty girls. We all know that's the problem with the WWE in the past. Good looking women, but don't really have the skills. So it's good to see that she's gonna do something good. All right, but I caught I think I caught the majority of Raw, but we're finally getting Seth now facing CM Punk after the surprise of Survivor Series, face to face in the ring. Did you catch this exchange?
I did catch the exchange. That's like the only thing I caught of Raw.
Okay. Really. So what do you think about Punk and Rollins?
I mean, did it
feel real?
In my opinions. I don't know. The hard thing is, and this is a testament, particularly Rollins, about how good this segment was. You really don't know how much of it is true. Because I even go back to the whole Cody and him thing. I don't know how much of that whole animosity is really for real. And it's just kayfabe. And that's one of the things I love about it. And it's something, and if it's not, neither one of them has broken kayfabe at all when it comes to referencing the other. and I love that. And Rollins is very good.
I think they're very good businessmen too. Right now.
Yes, he's very good when it comes to keeping his character. Regardless, he's good at kayfabe, and you know I appreciate that from him, and especially in his character and his characters and how he's evolved. Punk is Punk. I mean, there is no. Not saying that Punk is one dimensional, but when you get CM Punk, you don't expect different characters. You expect CM Punk to be who he is inside the ring and outside of the ring. So it's hard to know what's kayfabe because he's always CM Punk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a great exchange. It was great to set seeds for that going forward. It's just, is this going to, like, how is this going to play out? I just don't know. You know, is this going to be that WrestleMania main event? Is this going to happen sooner than that? You know, I'm curious and excited to find out what's going to happen.
Yeah. Who do you think came out on the better side of things? I think Rollins really, you know, put it on him. I really like the line too. Like, it's just a matter of time you're going to fuck up and show your true colors. And I'm going to be there the first one. Right. Like, bitch, I told y'all motherfuckers. I was like, no, he didn't. Go ahead, Rollins. Like, you tell it. You know, you're feeling like, you know, you say, get it off your chest. You know, because everybody knows, you know, the history and everything. So it just, that's why I was like, yo, he really, if might be talking from his soul, you know, some truth there, but also it's business too. Play that into the storyline, you know, put it into it. So
it's best for business.
I thought Rollins really, you know, put it out there, and, you know, Punk, he really don't need to say anything either. So I think he was still solid because he just gonna, like you said, he's gonna be himself. You know, whatever. You can say whatever you want about me. I'm Punk. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. So, I don't know. I thought it was a great exchange too. But I think Rollins, though, kind of said, you know, what I think a lot of people feel that have been hurt by Punk and also appreciate Punk. You know what I'm saying? Punk's, you know, his is really, to be honest, as a fan, even if you're a fan of him, I think, you know, I have no, you know, hate or dislike, you know, but if some of the stories that we've heard are true of him, you know, fucking it up for a lot of people or just whatever, then I don't know, man. It was a really good exchange, and I forgot what I was gonna say, but I think you know, he just said what a lot of us feel, whether you're a fan or not, and you know, you hope he turned the bend, and even what Rollins said, that he's changed for the better, and you know, he's happy he's here, so let's capitalize on, you know, whatever this is, but there's some realness there that I just like, wow. Yeah. All right. So some interesting stuff. What do you think actually on the same subject, what happened earlier on in the night was that he's now officially Raw. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Well, we called that too, because it didn't make sense for him to go to SmackDown, especially since Randy went there. And we said as well, they want those TV rights for Raw, and the best thing for business to drive up those prices to have CM Punk on Raw. Yeah. So I think this was a purely business decision in that regard, because let's be realistic. The brand split really doesn't exist anymore. People go wherever the storyline dictates them to go. So it really doesn't matter that he signed to Raw. He can still show up on SmackDown if the storyline says so. Okay. So, yeah.
All right. Well, to keep it moving, you know, again, you and I still have some catching up to do. I have like two other things that I wanted to bring up to you, and if you had anything else, we'll stop before we get up out of here. For the people, in regards to signings, you know, on the heels of CM Punk signing with Raw, I'm looking at the dirt sheets. Kushida just signed with TNA, man. What do you think about that? I know you're a TNA cat.
I am, I guess, partially not surprised because he's been like back and forth with them for the past year or two. I am a fan of Kushida. I didn't know who he was, but I saw him RH Best in the World 2018, him versus Jay Lethal. That was a great match, and I became a fan of him ever since. And then learning about his history with everyone else as far as Motor City Machine Guns and whatnot, I really enjoy him and his wrestling. So
I like his Back to the Future theme. I'm curious where that like came from and if there's an explanation to that. But I just seen that as part of like his gear and
oh yeah, the whole Back to the Future thing. Yeah, that's always been a part of his stick.
What do you know why he does that? Is he like a future wrestler?
I don't know. It was part of the whole time splitters thing he had with Chris Sabin. That was a tag team.
Oh.
But yeah, every time I see Kushida, that's like the whole stick, the vest, the glasses, all that good stuff.
I was just curious if there was an explanation to that, or if he just
I don't know.
Marty McFly super fan.
It could be. I don't know.
Gotcha. All right, the last thing, man. You and I talked about a little bit earlier, but the Iron Claw. Actually, I think we talked a little bit briefly, but I've seen it since then. Y'all, if y'all are wrestling fans, a great little wrestling film about the Von Erichs. I will say, for those that were really looking forward to seeing MJF kind of do his acting thing in it, you're not gonna really get that. So that's not really a spoiler, but you'll probably be disheartened if once you see it, be like you're expecting it. I can tell you he's not in there unless there's a whole nother cut that's gonna hit the theaters when you all see it. I had the advanced look, but yeah, he's not really in there. But it's a pretty cool film. Depressing, and if you know the Von Erich story, you know it's gonna be depressing. But Zac Efron, man, he put in some work on his body, man. Maybe a little too much that you'll be like maybe questioning your sexuality, because they do show a lot of that. I will say those that are curious, you're going to see a lot of male physique, if you will. Respect to all those that put in that work. But yeah, so those that maybe like I'm on this. Hey man, this wrestling, and you see it all the time when you watch wrestling. So any of those people that are feeling some kind of way, enjoy it, man. Respect to those cats, man. But it's a fun film. It's a good film, but it's hard to say entertaining because it's a depressing film. It's the story about the Von Erichs. So if you know it, it's just kind of sad. But I think they did them justice in respect to the Von Erich family, man. It's great for the story to get told, and just life is gonna put you through shit and continue to put you through shit, and you just gotta keep on staying strong, throughout it all. So yeah, man. Anything else before we get about here, Webster stuff?
No, man, I think it's the only thing. I feel like TNA signed somebody else, but I don't remember who that person was recently since the last time we talked. But yeah, I think that's about it. Not too. I got to catch up with AEW. I know some things happened over there.
Sorry, no AEW talk, y'all.
Yeah,
I got a lot of catching up over there.
A lot of catching up to do.
I just hope it's not going anywhere, because I think we all feel like with what happened with Punk, a lot of people have been like, damn, Tony's taking hit after hit. Jade Cargill gone, CM Punk gone. Just everybody's leaving. What's happening? Tony, stay strong, man. We need somebody just beyond WWE.
I think next year is going to be the year of. Well, excuse me. I think next year may be a landmark shift in wrestling in general, because the Raw TV rights, those are up end of next year. So Raw will be shifting by September of 2024. When I was looking at the dirt sheets, Drew's contract is up next year. Seth, Becky, and it was somebody else that was pretty prominent from WWE I feel like Kevin Owens' contract is up next year too. I may be wrong about that, but at least know those three. Apparently from AEW, Andrade's contract is up, and there are a couple other people's contracts that are going to be up next year. I think MJF's contract is up next year too, if I remember correctly. So there are going to be a lot of.
He wants to head over to WWE at some point.
There are a lot of names that are up next year, and then also I am not sure about the Warner TV deal with AEW, but there's a lot of talk now about that, so I don't know if that's coming up next year too. Like next year could be a titanic shift when it comes to at least the two biggest players in wrestling right now.
Wow, it's gonna be interesting. So good times to be a wrestling fan, but man, I just hope they stay around, because again, I
don't think they're going anywhere.
Always be on the top,
but
man.
They did. I did see a report today saying they were like, I don't remember the exact figure, but it was like 7 figures in the red.
Wow. Oh, are you serious?
AEW? Yeah. I was like, that's a lot of dough. That's a whole lot of dough to be in the red. But again, I just saw a headline. I didn't read or watch the article. So It's always more to the story than just what you see on the headline.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of people on YouTube running with that today, and I'm like, what's that all about?
Yeah. Again, man, Tony, keep it together, man. Like, we love our wrestling.
Some writers, Tony. Hire some writers.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Webster Style, how can the people reach out to you and all the things you got going on over at Sartorial and Geek?
You can find me
man.
every week. Sartorial and Geek Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, all the places for podcasts. Usually drops every Monday. Usually take breaks every now and again, but usually every Monday. YouTube, find me there. Webster Style Magazine, and of course, anything and everything as Webster Style can be found on webster.com. And distance, you see all the Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff right there. But if it's posted as a podcast, as a video, if you don't feel like going to YouTube or Spotify, just go to webster.com. It's going to be there too.
There you go. And for me, it's the Legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hi, Blue Sky. And of course, here with my boy Webster Style, my man Sean Mongold, the whole squad at the NRW Not Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. That has been another KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals Podcast. And we are out of here in a 1, 2, 3. Peace.
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you.
Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring.
I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens, baby.
I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before.
You can hide behind that commissioner stuff just so long until I jerk a knot in your ass.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, and you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be to do the job on you.
All right, just jerk Helmsley off.
There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time, if you catch my meaning.
I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
Oh, no, that's it, right?
Boy, I'm coming hard.